Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and for the first time ever, I'm reviewing an individual movie, or in this case, TV show. So, let's talk about the She-Hulk season. And I did have some thoughts, good and bad. But before we get started, share your thoughts down below in the comment about She-Hulk. And we are less than a week from the release of Black Adam, and I'm super excited. I've already gotten my tickets, and I will be reviewing it on Sunday and then ranking it on Monday, the DCEU movies. But anyways, let's just get right into the reviews. Now for the premiere of She-Hulk. I thought it was actually up to wow. I thought it was a really good start to the series. And I actually do think it set up a lot. And it was so cool to see Hulk back. And, I'm not going to go like episode by episode. I'm going to kind of go series as a whole. Now, let's actually talk about our lead. Now, I do think she was a really good character when she was Jen Walters and when she was She-Hulk. And, it was fun when she was a lawyer. However, sometimes I wish we got to see more of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, and that's more of just a personal preference. At the same time, it was still very cool. And Abomination was a well-developed character, and I'm very glad they brought him back. And for a long time, he was actually on my most wasted MCU character list, and which I might actually do a ranking of, if I feel like it. What are some other thoughts I have? I do think Titania was a pretty good villain, but I do wish she would do a little more. And, now, okay, here are some of my problems. I feel like sometimes when they show Jen Walters going on dates, it kind of ruins it for me a bit because, I feel like they cut out of the character a little bit. And, I do think that we could have maybe seen Thaddeus Ross. But, I do understand, William Hurt died earlier this year. And like I said with Hulk, that was more of just a personal preference. Okay. I do wish that we would see a little more Wong as well. Because it would maybe... I know they showed clips from Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, but I do wish, Wong would be a little more involved. And, I do, even though the finale was interesting, which we'll talk about a bit, I do wish Abomination turned the bat in, which we'll talk about in just a bit. Okay, now for Todd, who is kind of our main villain. I do think he turned into a Hulk a little too late. Honestly, I do think the finale, actually maybe even just the whole show, could have been a little longer. But, anyways, one thing that did way better than most MCU shows is it had 9 episodes instead of 6. Which I'm going to give it a thumbs up for that. Because I think the 6 episode shows, explore a little too, explore a little too much in a short time. I wish they would expand it a little more in the other MCU shows. So that's one thing that they do better than all the other MCU shows. Now, for entertainment, I do wish we'd have a little more action. Yeah. And, the magician that we saw, I believe it was in like episode 3. I don't remember. I don't keep track of like what happened episode by episode. Like I just remember it was one of the early episodes. That magician guy who got away in court. I wish that we could have seen more of him because, okay, this isn't one of the cons. I feel like they explored too many villains and didn't even really do much development with any of them, which is why what they did in the finale was actually kind of smart. Now, oh yeah, before I even continue, for the magician guy, I do wish we could have seen him throughout, and then, he gets arrested at the end, and like I feel like for episode 9, maybe they could have extended it like 15 to 30 minutes, and at the end they would have done like a court scene, kind of like, well, actually, I'm not gonna just all of a sudden compare it to A Few Good Men, which, by the way, A Few Good Men, if you haven't seen that movie, you should definitely check that out. That movie is great. But, like, I wish they did a big court case. Maybe Jen Walters gets her job back, and then for the finale, she would, like, do a court case for that magician guy, and, and then, he'd go to jail. Kind of like how most movies or shows end with a happy ending. Okay, now we're going into the last few episodes, like the back half of the show. I loved seeing Daredevil back, and that does give me hope that we might see that we will have a very good Daredevil show in the MCU with Kingpin. Also, I do wish that, like, maybe we could have had a Hulk, She-Hulk, and Daredevil, and, like, maybe all fight Abomination, or the magician guy. Maybe actually Abomination joins that fight, and, we get rid of, and, yeah, like, they all fight the magician guy. Okay, now for episode 8, the ending of episode 8. I do think it was smart what they did. She-Hulk all of a sudden went to prison, and, them exploring Abomination and his crew for episode 8, and then, him, like, not being allowed to break the rule. I mean, I do think it was actually smart how they executed it, and that's why Abomination was a big improvement in the show. And now, for the finale. The finale was so awesome. It was awesome. Like, the finale in the show, I don't know how they did it. It was actually looking pretty cool. And then it got even better when, like, she, like, appears and then, like, sees all the script writers who wrote the show and, like, talks to Kevin the Robot. I do think that was so dope, and I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. And, Abomination go to jail, actually, that's also what they could have maybe done a court case on, or maybe Abomination doesn't go to jail for 10 years. Honestly, I do hope Abomination is part of the Thunderbolts lineup, yeah, anyways, okay, now the part where you guys are gonna waiting for. Where will this place on the MCU shows rank? Well, you're gonna have to find out yourself, because I'm gonna do the MCU shows ranked next week. Like, I'm gonna watch Werewolf by Night and maybe finish like the Groot, because I haven't watched all of the episodes, and then like rank all 10. And my score for this, okay, the finale was great. Like, anything that had criticism, the finale made up for, I'd say, most of it. So I would give this show an 8 out of 10, which is actually pretty solid. Because most of the scores would score, would score below an 8. And Werewolf by Night, I do think it's interesting how they're having like a movie that's a length of like a 6 episodes, of like one TV show episode, which I do think is pretty cool how they're doing it. And I am gonna see Werewolf by Night. And this week oh yeah, before I start talking about like my plans, so yeah, I am excited for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That's the next MCU project, and What If Season 2 and Loki Season 2. I'm very excited for those upcoming shows. So now for my plans, and I do hope that I don't change this last second. So tomorrow, or maybe not even tomorrow, this week, I'm gonna rewatch some of the DCEU movies when I actually have not seen Birds of Prey yet, so I'm gonna need to watch that for the first time. And then I'm seeing like Black Adam this weekend. So on Sunday, I'm gonna do my Black Adam review. And then on Monday, I'm going to do my DCEU movies ranked. And when Black Panther: Wakanda Forever comes out, I'm going to rank the MCU movies. And then maybe even rank my top 10 favorite superhero movies. And later this week, I'm maybe going to squeeze in an MCU ranking. Maybe I'll do the top 10 MCU most wasted characters. I might even do a top 10, top 10 most controversial or unpopular opinions. Yeah, top 10 most unpopular opinions for MCU or just Marvel stuff in general. And I do plan to maybe rank the X movies along the road. And when the finale of Andor comes out, I might rank the Star Wars shows that are like canon. So like The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, the Obi-Wan show, and Andor. And I might even just throw in some other shows in there that I feel like are canon, but yeah. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I cannot wait to see Black Adam, and I do hope you guys will stick around. So thanks for watching, and peace out.